Okay, good night, everybody. So, what I will do soon is I will continue with the painting of the construction regarding the energy, and I decided to use oil color on top of the acrylic layer in like both this one and also the one that I'm still left several layers of Neptunium. And also we use oil for the Orin and Neila paintings, and this will require me first of all, I ran out of white. I don't have white oil paint, which means that we will have to do without white. We have several, a good, I think, good inventory, but I think that I don't have white at all, which is quite, maybe because, last time that I had, I've done the shopping in Jackson, they didn't have the titanium white in the inventory, which was disappointing. Maybe I had something it is it's kind of not white, but almost white. So this was Prussian blue, which is very nice color actually. So we have brown, we have quite a bit actually. The only problem is the white. So here we have, the lesser used ones that, but also no white. I should have had something Titan Buff. Titan Buff is kind of white. I needed to mix. So anyway, with our color, you start with kind of a long session of mixing the colors. So I start with that, and hopefully it will have the meaningful symbolism of mixing the oil colors. Oil are humans, of course, and so mixing them will be interesting. So yes, even without white, I can. It's okay. It's a little bit problematic because I would more because of the symbolic language require it to be a little bit bright. So what do we have? Here we have all sorts of black. We have this kind of this is really bright. It can be useful. We have the pinkish thing, yellow. What do you know? We have a little bit of white. I'm not sure. It looks like it's done, but maybe it's not. Maybe you have a Nes Chanukah here. Maybe you have Nes Chanukah here. Just wait a second. No, almost nothing. Almost nothing. But almost that doesn't mean. No, we have a little bit of white here. Okay, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I don't need many colors, but I need to mix the correct ones, and they should be more on the bright side. And so I need to pick ones that will be right for me. Okay, don't worry. I think we will meet our goals, no problem. And another, thing that, regarding the symbolic language is that, sometimes the construction is only in effect while the sculpture or the painting are still wet. And when they are dry, it's no longer in effect. But you can actually restart it, restart the effect by maybe by adding water. By if it's sculpture with clay, you can add supposedly if you don't put varnish, you can add like water or even oil. Many times I've added oil, so it will kind of like like this is a good example of kind of like like recharging kind of like the construction with wet material with oil, and this is evident with kind of like mostly with natural clay sculptures that that you see that they are in effect while it dries, and it dries like very noticeably. So and acrylic it dries very quickly. So even if it will have an effect, the effect will be short while, and we are going to we prepare for a dramatic effect with and I will discuss this effect. So I will discuss the effect actually as part of the fourth chapter that I promised to hold, and I'll do it while I'm mixing the colors, which should be interesting. Also maybe I'll play. We have 3 hours of the fairy tale, which the three sister fairy tales that I kind of like invented, but it's based on true events that happened a long time ago, and it's of course related to to kind of things that that I discuss in this channel. Issues like interplanetary relations, and the nature of the Venusians, and like primordial Earth, things like that. And so if there is a demand for that, I don't know like how many of my listeners actually already listen to the fairy tale, because I think before we continue, because I want to hold like the fourth and the fifth chapters, like each will be an hour to conclude it. But if people didn't hear it and they cannot like access the channel, they can only hear it using the bicycle mechanism, then I will actually replay it, but it will take something like 3 hours of replay. I don't mind like listening to it like 3 hours, but if you don't need it, it's best that I won't waste the time on it. But the question is that whether you people, like the new subscriber that I know that I have, whether you heard the fairy tale, and like, do you need me to replay it in order for you to hear it? And of course, this is, assuming you are interested, kind of like this fairy tale, which deals with, again, these true events, but modeled like in artistic kind of dramatic representation by myself. I did it like I thought about like something like 2 years ago in a trip to Machtesh Ramon, which was very dramatic. But I always thought that I should write it down, but I see. The best is like the enemy of the good. Maybe I would write it down, but for now, it's okay to just tell it like traditional storyteller fashion. So the question is, do you really need do you need me to replay the fairy tale? Now, before everything, what we will do now is we will actually watch a microscopic sample of my bodily fluids. I do it from time to time, just to see what's going on with the various life forms that I have in my body that shouldn't be there, but I'm infected by so many diseases, but many people, as you know, it's part of the torture of living in Israel. So the only thing that I can do is to see if kind of it's under control. Many times it's kind of like it's crushed like animals. That are crushed by the neurons, or zombified, or hollow like skeleton like ones that it's not nice to see it like in your bodily fluid samples, but it's not like of any effect. It's kind of it's remnants that of things that were take care of by the neurons. That's what they do in my body. One of the things that they do. So what will I need to kind of like a bit cheap with the glasses, because I'm almost like I almost have no more like a glass slides, and these are actually the last covers. But for the cover we can use sellotape, and that's what I've done in the first couple of months. And it was actually nice because the neos actually cut like pieces of the sellotape, like in the mining operation that I've showed me in one of the previous videos yesterday or today. And so I'll use the sellotape, but until I can get out of this room, I'm under arrest. I need to like be more frugal with the slide. So one slide contains semen, fresh semen that I just jerked off and produced, and the second one will contain both pee that I just took like a sample, and also by blood. But it will be I'll put it like in the same slide in order to just to be more frugal. But it's okay, because in any case the slide. standard like laboratory slides. I mean, it's only used like like a square that is much like smaller than the regular size that I use for microscopic samples. So regularly, normally, standard slide can have place standard place for like both pee sample and blood sample. Of course, it's best that they are not mixed, so we know what we have in each sample. But let's start with the semen because it's already, this one is prepared. So this is, you see, it's covered with slide, with a glass cover. I haven't checked it, so I don't have any idea what we see in it. Let's see, but I didn't watch, pre-watched it. Okay. I really wish I had better microscope, and specifically one that I don't need to hold the iPhone on the lens on the eye lens like that. This is definitely an arrow, and this is another one. And this must be a life form from hell. But it's on the on the edge of the slide, so I can't move the pen with the. Oh, many neos, nice. So many neos, and they look healthy. They look pretty fat. Not as fat as the ones that of course are growing, in dedicated electrolysis chamber or in the ecosystem pest. But certainly very very nice ones. Let's zoom in just to take. You see that it's still. We also see something that I've never seen until now, never. This is something very, very, very new, because it's completely new to me, which is sperm cells. I never see it. It's it's already 10 months now that I take samples of my semen, and we have many, probably more than hundreds. Several dozens of fresh semen samples, and also of course, and hundreds of non-fresh. But even if you just fresh samples never contain these things. So, this is actually new. It's not the first time I've seen it a couple of days ago, but we see both neos and healthy neos, and we also see something that I guess is sperm cells. Hopefully, because otherwise it means that there is kind of infection of something ridiculously disgusting, but. Maybe, I don't know. Are these sperm cells? I don't know. I always thought that I don't need sperm cells because presumably the neos are my sperm cells. But maybe I was wrong. I can admit, I rather at this point admit that I was wrong and formulate a new theory regarding my reproduction, capabilities, than accept the fact that there are so many small, viruses or germs probably, small germs, small microbes inside my sperm, my semen, for some reason. So the maximum magnification lens is really discussed here. It's not. It's really dirty. Let's use the 160 magnification, maybe. I don't know. I'm really not used to it. This is something new. So the question is, what actually is it? Hopefully it's sperm cells, because and we just need to formulate a new theory regarding why do I need even sperm cells? Certainly I have two daughters that but at the time that I didn't take sperm samples before. I started this research about 10 months ago. So what do you say? Are these sperm cells? Let's try to use maximum magnification even. Again, maybe we'll be luckier now. Looks like sperm cell. I think, right? Shutonim. They have this kind of they are mutile. I mean, they certainly move. So they are either sperm cells or like I don't know, like I mean, frog like I mean, frog cells. I don't know. I mean, at that point, I wouldn't be surprised like of anything, because I mean, I'm usually infected with all sort of like ridiculous stuff like by the Israelis, unbelievable things. Like I mean, but eventually, I mean, the news, I mean, with the help of God, like clear the body. I just need to get out of this Nazi hell. But what are these? The question is this in? I mean, there are two options. First, that I mean, they shouldn't be there, and that this is an infection, and a disgusting one that I've never seen until now. A new kind of infection. And another option is that these are actually sperm cells, and that I should have sperm cells, and maybe I've had it in the past. That's how I got my wife into pregnancy. But maybe since the house arrest, I'm always like bombarded with radiation, and I know that they do it to me. I mean, it's not new that I mean I feel the radiation. Like I mean, it was like that in my mother's apartment. I knew it was like that. So it's not a new issue. So maybe I mean, like all because of the radiation that I was bombarded by the Israelis, I mean, all the sperm cells just died. That's why I've never seen it doing this research. And the Neros do not die because I mean they are probably more like they are more kind of like I mean they are like I mean they are better preserved. But I'm not sure these are actually sperm cells. I mean, and the problem is that I mean, it's kind of like dirty this lens. So what do we say? Is this sperm? Are these sperm cells? Or, I mean, if I had like any kind of like I mean, experience with that, it would have been easy for me to know. But I mean, I've never seen them before on my kind of on my semen, and I've taken many of these. So again, either a sperm cell or a disgusting infestation. So what do you say? So let's leave it to the comments. There isn't much we can do right now. I would say that if I want, like I mean, presumably if they are, I mean, on the correct place, and really we didn't see it until now because they were died by the radiation. So the question is, why do I need it? Because I already have the Neros. So a possible answer is that, I mean, if I kind of like, I mean, maybe, it's kind of like, I mean, it's shooting, as they say, like in Hebrew, יורה לכל הכיוונים, like shooting in all directions, which means that, I mean, as I said many times, that I can end, like, I mean, I can, like, every child, like, I mean, or put, like, a woman into, like, a pregnancy with a child, I mean, whether she is a cherub, like myself, or whether she's a titan, or whether she's Homo sapiens human being, like my ex-wife. And, I mean, all options will actually, I mean, resulted, I mean, in pregnancy, and if everything will be okay, I mean, there will be like a viable human being, and again, we have 2 daughters, so it's not theoretical. And I said many times that, I mean, that this must be done using sexual intercourse, not in like with kind of like a laboratory, because I mean, all sorts of like, I mean, reasons. But maybe, I mean, we should, I mean, reevaluate some of the things that you thought that are true, like. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you tell me what's. I mean, the duality might signify that. I mean, that maybe titans and like cherubs. I mean, use like the the Neo, and in order to fertilize like the egg, and maybe I mean, in order to like fertilize like human egg. I mean, we need the sperm cells, and maybe I was radiated all the time because people didn't want to create hybrids. I don't know. This is too much like it's too much of like too many questions and too much new information. Maybe it's not sperm cells at all. Just kind of like an infection that I don't know what it can be. So this is new stuff. So definitely new stuff. These are several neos in kind of like a nice position. This is a disgusting life form, but we've seen worse. And we see the neo, going to kill it. It's already kind of like looks dead, and it's too hollow. It's not full metal jacket, it's hollow jacket. All of these are certainly neos and pretty big ones. Bigger than we've seen like lately. So, this is actually good news, relatively good news. But why do we have all these kind of like moving things. Are they really sperm cells? What are they? I don't know. The neurons look very, very well. I mean, they're all perfectly shaped, and like, I mean, they look very well. Here we have even fatter ones. So I mean, the neuro condition in the sperm is like better than it was like for a long time now. But the issue of the moving stuff is kind of like, I mean, freakish, because I mean, it's either like a disgusting disease, or I need to reevaluate how my production capabilities actually working. And I mean, I can do it, but I mean, it will require me more experimentation. I don't know what we see right now. Looks something artistic. I mean, it looks like a neuro inside another neuro. I mean, sometimes it happens. It's not like unheard of. Maybe we should zoom in now, just to see the interior. This might be interesting. Nice. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I mean, it's a ton of neurons, very big ones, not not something that I usually see in my sperm. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, a very good kind of like sample. I mean, like from the point of view of the number of neurons and the average size. And not many life forms actually, much less than we've seen before. But still, there are still life forms here, and I mean, of course, optimally we shouldn't have seen nothing, even not like broken ones. But there is much less than we've seen in the past, and this is all very good news. Very, very good news. The gospel of the recovering sperm. This is something else. I don't know what it is. Are these two balloons? I don't know what it is. Anyone have a suggestion? I really don't understand. It looks like something like, I mean, artificial, like a creation of the neurons. But I mean, what was the? So this is a neuro that kills like an animal, or already killed it. I don't know. And this is the end of the slide. Overall, very successful slide and very interesting slide. With of course the issue of the flagellums, like in, so what exactly are they? So now I will take a fresh blood sample, just in front of you. I hope we don't find it like we need to get some light here. I mean, not enough light. Just a second. Okay, this is somewhat better. So I hope you are not of the faint of heart, because what we're going to do now is to take, a blood sample fresh from my skin. I've just taken a shower, so it shouldn't be extremely dirty, but it's still, because we use, the skin kind of like as a medium. It might contain a little bit of stuff that, you can find in the skin. Hopefully not much, because I just took a shower, but so it will be taken from here, like, from this place, I'm not going to really use the syringe, just, to punch myself with the needle, and then, like, smear it on the slide. Okay, so we see the blood. I didn't want to cut myself too much, because why should I? But although, if it's not enough, there are not enough blood cells, red blood cells, and then sometimes it's not easy to see the neurons, because the neurons, if you don't stain the blood sample, like with kind of like, specific colors, like specifically methylene blue and eosine white, if you don't stain it, sometimes it's difficult to actually detect the neurons in blood sample, unlike in sperm cell sample. It's just a different kind of sample. Okay, so I think it's enough blood. So now we can transfer the blood to the slide. Now let's do it like that because it's tiresome the other way. Yeah, so now it's better, quicker. Okay, I think it will be enough. And now for the pee. So we have a fresh what is it? Pipette, like. So we don't need much, and we don't want it to be mixed actually with the. So I press just a little bit because I don't want it to mix with the blood. Now let's place the cover. I don't use gloves because I ran out of gloves. We are really, running low on supply here, but this is life. So let's not, touch it too much. Not too, in order for them not to mix between the pee and the blood. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so you're with me. We start with the pee side and then the blood. Usually in the pee we see all sorts of dead life forms, even though this that one on the left look alive. Actually, which is not very good news. But what can you say? What can you do? So we don't see the infestation that we've seen in the semen, which is good news because it's a hint that these were sperm cells, and because if it was kind of like very disgusting infestation, I would assume that we would have found it in the pee as well. But this is my kind of like this is my intuition. It's kind of disgusting to think about it, but that's what we do. We see what's under the microscope and we, try to make conclusions out of it. No neos in this pee actually. Maybe the sample was just, this is low. So now we see a little bit of neos. Okay, so we see a little bit of neos. It's not that there aren't neos. Okay, it's fine. And it's kind of like expected that the pee contains much less neos and smaller ones than what you can see, you find in the semen. Of course, the semen is much more concentrated, and it was known that to be like that. So it's not a new issue. Okay, so we have the regular, I would say, this is the regular amount of, it's moving, probably not voluntarily, not by its own volition, but on moving on the flow, but maybe it's moving voluntarily, I don't know. It's difficult to say. This is true to any kind of microbes. Not only the neos. Anyway, so yeah, we've seen enough neos. It's typical for pee. No need to be alarmed. and we didn't see, I mean, like I mean, the huge amount of microbes, which is again a hint that these were actually sperm cells. So if it's true, I will need to update my model of like how do I reproduce. I mean, I know that how I reproduce by having sex with like vaginal sex with a woman, but that can be like of like a cherub or a titan or I mean Homo sapiens woman. But I mean regarding the kind of like I mean the mechanism, and we will need to update it because until now I was certain that I mean the neurons do everything, but maybe at least potentially they don't impersonate sperm cells like when they try to impregnate like Homo sapiens woman, because I mean maybe I mean if I'm not bombarded by like radiation, they are just created in my body. So I mean why should the neurons I mean like impersonate them if they are already there normally? This kind of I mean the lens is very disgusting. I mean I need to clean this the lenses. Yes, I mean sorry. Okay. So it was very small like amount of pieces. So it's I mean, normal that we didn't see like a huge amount of neurons. We see like I mean the usual amount. This is a zombified life form, so it's hollow in the inside. This is a pretty big neuro, and now we should start to see. This is another neuro here in the middle, and very soon we should start to see blood. Okay, so this is now this is blood. So as I said, I mean it's easiest to find like to detect the neurons in the blood if there are many red blood cells. Of course, they are not really red blood cells. These are mock-ups of red blood cells, but I mean when they are very dense, it's much easier to actually detect the neurons. Otherwise, it's kind of from my experience, I mean in the blood, it's much easier to detect the neurons with the blue standard blue color, the methylene blue it's called, and also, I mean, it was discovered very, I mean, convincingly that if you stain the red, I mean, the synthetic red blood cells with eosin Y, with the standard red color, I mean, it actually, I mean, it makes them much more, like, I mean, detected, like, I mean, it enhances the contrast in very, I mean, not noticeable way, which is the same, this is also the same with human blood, but I mean, so I mean again, but so it's the same like in human blood. That I mean, you see like the morphology of the red blood cells in much better way with the red stain. But the neurons, I mean, it's better like I mean to use the blue stain for the neurons in order to to enhance contrast. Of course, you can use both. I mean, this is one of the advantages of the concept of stains. So we see neurons here. I mean, so all is well. I mean, looks like normal blood and not many life forms. Wow, look at this one. This is so much like glowing, like I don't know what it is. Wow. And the neuro in the middle. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so all is good and almost no life forms at all, which is a great news. So I'm kind of like seems that my body is slowly getting clean from this kind of like disgusting life forms, and also we have the issue: are these really sperm cells? I mean, still a question, and again we need to update like the model. I mean, and to understand what's going on. I'm not appalled by the fact that I was radiated for so long by the Israeli, intelligence services, because I already knew it, and this was part of my life. They placed me under arrest in my mother's apartment, and while I'm there, I'm radiated by either by the people of the apartment or by the neighbors. Doesn't really matter. But yes, I was radiated the whole time, and this is the predicament of my life: a constant torture. I need to be rescued from the Nazi prison using arms and legs, without any movement of mouths and tongues.